I picked up Maneater last night.
That was $40.
Yeah, I know it was 40. Yo, what's going on, everybody?
Hell no!
Yo,
I'm not paying $40 for that game. That game looks fun, but I'm not paying $40 for that. When there's other games right there in the same space that looks way more appealing.
Yo, what is going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of the next podcast. I am getting reamed.
I'll be in Game Pass in about 2 months.
I'm getting reamed right now for spending $40 on a game that, I gotta say, I knew, like, I was like, man, $40 is too much for this game, but I kept watching the gameplay, and I was like, yeah, I absolutely love sharks, so you guys should know what it is by now. I picked up Maneater last night, and K Mega is going in on me right now about that, saying how it'll be in Game Pass in like 2 months, and how the hell, and I bought that over the Mafia remakes, right? I bought that over Saints Row the Third, and he can't believe it, guys. He can't believe it. But what is going on, chat? Good to see everybody. Welcome to the next podcast. Guys, do me a favor. I haven't done it yet. I will do it with you guys. Hit that thumbs up button. Share this out on social media, wherever you go to talk games. Let people know that we are live talking about the gaming news. Eater. Oh! Dude, I didn't even think about that song, yo. That song's gonna be in my head every time I play that now, man.
Oh, man.
Yo, Night Music, what is up, brother? Welcome to the channel as a new member. You have a bunch of emotes that you can use in the chat. So definitely go through, pick out your favorites, show everybody what you can do as a new member. Guys, really good show planned for tonight, man. We got some really cool topics, something that I think not a lot of people were thinking about in terms of the PS5, in terms of its hardware and its launch, that I think is going to be a really good topic. Not only that, we're getting into the Last of Us limited edition, Last of Us Part 2 limited edition console. What the panel thinks about that. A bunch of things to talk about, but we can't get into those until we do the intros. And I'm going to start with my brother using his military mic tonight. He gets into, shooters, third person, first person. He also gets into the business side of the gaming industry as well. When he starts breaking down money in terms of the video game industry, I suggest everybody needs to stop what they're doing and listen. It's my brother Predator. What is up, bro?
Yo, what's up, everybody? Using my new headset today because everybody said they couldn't hear me. I was really low last week, so we'll try this one out and see how it goes. So hopefully you guys can hear me, and let's get into it, man.
Yeah, and what you're saying about your headset, it's like it's one that you can use in a helicopter, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm using right now. It's I think it's David. Hold on, let me see. David Clark headsets. You guys look them up. There's the ones we use out the flight line. They kind of cancel out all the noise in the background when you're talking through the headset. So, not necessarily something you would use for gaming, but I got them, so I want to use it. See what happens.
Did you say David Ruffin?
David Clark.
Headsets? Oh, I was like, I didn't know the Temptations made a damn headset.
Oh my goodness, man. Yo, he is in rare. Yo, shout out to Wilmy Hood hitting up that super chat, and yo, dude, I can't wait. I'm not gonna say that to the traditional way, by the way. Yo, hitting up that super chat, and he said, you know what, I have to. Battle Sharks. It just doesn't. It doesn't sound right.
Yeah, no.
It doesn't sound right.
It doesn't work. No.
But yeah, no. Sharks are my absolute favorite animal, and I think that's what really got me to pull that trigger. Although I have been having fun with the game, like sporadically today. In between getting gameplay and stuff like that ready for the show, I've been going in and playing the game, and I gotta say it's pretty fun. I don't know if it's $40 fun though. But that, it is what it is, man. But as you can hear, this panel member is coming in with a lot of energy tonight. I think he's really hyped. He is really stoked. And the funny thing about it is he did his show last night on Mixer, and coming live from the 405, and he's only trying to talk to the intelligent gamers out there. My brother K Mega, what is up, bro?
What's happening, man? Good stuff. Man, been kind of busy in the podcast realm a little bit. I went into a snake's den of a PlayStation podcast. It was pretty interesting, but came out unscathed. And of course, did GRG last night, and then now doing this. And I'm pretty sure I'll be doing another Devin the Gamer here sometime soon. So It seems like I'm revving up to get back and doing podcasts again at a not at a high click, but whatever. And I'm streaming on top of that, so this is kind of like a damn second job. It's kind of crazy, man. But anyway, love to do it, man. Let's get this show popping, man. Happy to be here.
Nice, brother. And next on the list, you guys know him as a hardcore Gears head, and I saw in the chat, I don't think he's drunk yet. My brother Crispy, what is up, bro?
Oh, what is up, guy? Oh, hold up. Man, I gotta take my shoe off real quick, man. I gotta get this turd off my freaking shoe, man. Let me spray this off real quick.
What the hell?
Okay, we're good. What's
sounded
up,
like
How
he
we doing?
snorted it.
I think he's talking about his social media experiences lately, man. I don't know.
I don't know,
man.
You could take that as whatever you want.
Okay. All right, brother. Well, it's great to have you on as always every Saturday. I think you are not going to be short on opinions when it comes to the topics tonight, brother.
Oh, let's go, baby. Come on.
Nice. And next on the list, my brother from the West Coast. You know, he retired from saving the world, which is why we are dealing with pandemics, murder hornets, and so much more. He's got to get back to his job. But for now, he is right here with us tonight. Dark Optimus!
We also seem to be missing Drunk Crispy as well out of that whole list of things that
missing. Define missing.
No, he'll be drunk by the end of the show.
he uses the show as a gauge to how drunk he's going to get for the rest of the night. Man.
He's just like, okay, yeah, I'm going to get more drunk.
Yeah, like 15 beers in, he's like, you know what, that's like
I
half
could use
time.
one more.
That's like half time.
I could use maybe 15
beer,
more.
Man. Come on, like you gotta love that. Let's go. You gotta crack a few cold ones and enjoy the show, baby. Let's go.
But no, man, I'm happy to be here, dude. I'm ready to get into these topics.
Nice, brother. Well, you know, when it comes down to it, let's get into it. Let's start with the first topic, which is an unveiling of a limited edition console, and it goes to Sony. Sony came out and unveiled. First, there was a rumor, so you know somebody got in there first and kind of leaked the pictures and whatnot. But as you can look at the show itself, I have the picture up over this some type of gameplay. It says Whiner or something like that. But we have a brand new limited edition, The Last of Us 2 PS4 Pro. And I gotta say, me personally, I think they finally got over a hump with this one. I'm not saying that this limited edition is perfect, but something that I feel has been talked about this entire generation when it comes to these limited edition PlayStations, where a lot of people were saying, you know, they're just throwing stickers on. Well, this right here has the tattoo from Ellie, and it's engraved across the top of it. So that right there, I will give Sony props personally. But let's go to the Angry Otter, Dark Optimus first. Dude, what do you think about this new limited edition console? Not only that, but it does come with a matte black controller where that same tattoo design is on the right side of the controller, and it's in gloss, so it's supposed to like show up that way. Everything else is matte black. This is in gloss. What do you think about the look of it? What give us your thoughts, man.
This is a clear case of milking it, you know, until the very end. They're definitely trying to milk these PS4 Pros. You know, they're definitely trying to get as much as they can out of the PS4. As for the console itself, it looks okay. I didn't have too much of a gripe about it. I thought it's not the best looking one, I don't think, by far. I thought the
Destiny
Monster
2 one.
Hunter,
Destiny
the Monster Hunter.
No, Destiny 2 one.
No, the Monster Hunter world was better. Just in terms of just how that controller looked and how the console looked. Honestly, though, I think this should have been like PS5, you know, or something like that. Like this should have been something that they should have saved for the next gen of consoles, like a remaster of The Last of Us
Oh,
Part
dude,
2.
don't worry. They'll do
this.
this on a PS5
No, I know,
when they do the
I know they'll
remaster
probably-
one, man.
I know they probably will. They'll probably do that. I mean, they're trying to definitely, get people's money. I mean, this is smart business. This is how you do it. Because they know people love different looking consoles. They know that people appreciate that PlayStation is actually doing this kind of thing. So they're going to continue to do that with the next gen. And the console, what can you say about it? I mean, it looks good. It doesn't look terrible, but
it doesn't look outstanding. Yeah, no, I know.
Right.
I see the way I'm looking at this, right? This entire generation, I felt like the PS4 limited editions were just decals thrown on a PS4. All right,
this is more etching, right?
Yeah, well, I'm taking it as a sign that they have learned something, and going forward, they might be better. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I see people in the chat. They're like, "How come it's okay for Sony to come out with one so late in the generation and not for Xbox?" Guys, I can only speak for myself. All right, I never said.
Could you imagine the backlash if Xbox did do that?
I never. Well, yeah, but see, I never said anything about like the Cyberpunk console coming out like too late or anything like that. When it comes down to it, and I'm not one of those people saying that the Cyberpunk one, it's coming out too late in the generation. What the hell are you doing? And since I'm not the one saying that, I'm not signing checks for the people who are.
Well, I think both of these consoles are too late. I think the Last of Us Part 2 console's too late. I think the Xbox One X Cyberpunk 2077 console's too late. I think they should have saved these for the next gen or something like that, or the next iteration of the game. But I mean, I get it. It's business, and they know people love this stuff, and they know that people are going to still continue to buy PS4 and Xbox One. While the next generation is around. So
yeah, they're going to be supporting this generation's consoles for like at least a year into next generation anyway. So
well, it's because they know people are gonna go and buy these consoles because they'll be cheaper, and
they're going to be dirt cheap, dude.
And there's gonna because there's people out there that can't afford to buy the consoles right away, and they really want the new they really want the console, but they have to wait until it's cheaper or whatever, and this is going to be perfect for them.
Nice brother. Let's go to Predator. Yo, Pred, you see this right here on the screen right now, man. What do you think? Do you think Sony has learned from Xbox? Because let's be honest here, when it comes to limited edition kind of like consoles, I feel like Xbox has run this thing this entire generation. The attention to detail, laser etching, stuff like that has been absolutely fantastic. Do you think Sony pulled a page out of that book and maybe they're like, all right, maybe we should start doing more things like this? What do you think about the console, man? You don't say. Predator?
You guys hear me?
We can hear you now.
Okay, I had to.
Were you in a helicopter?
No, I was playing with this button on the side of the earpiece. Like the mute button. The mute button is on the earpiece instead of like on the little controller here.
He's so got buttons. We're gonna be in and out with Predator all day.
No,
all day.
Now when I know what it feels like when it's actually depressed, I can tell the difference now. So,
did you buy the headset from K Mega? Because he likes
oh shit.
If he bought it from me, it would work.
Oh,
nothing on your body works.
Wow,
Boy,
we
you
took it to another level right
yeah,
there.
I know. You better ask that old lady. I'm telling you. But anyway,
wow.
Let me call your wife real quick and see.
Yeah, I know. She'll let you know. She'll let you know too.
Anyway, I think like.
All right, get back on. Here we go. We're back on track, brother.
All right, so I've never really liked.
Hey, Mega, what the hell did you do to him, man?
I've never liked play. I'm trying to do this. Let me do it. All right. So I've never really liked PlayStation's custom consoles. There's been a few, but they're not memorable to me. I like the fact that, and I'm not trying to make this a Microsoft Sony thing, but when Microsoft comes out with a custom console, they go all the fuck out for it because they don't make that many of them. You know, it seems like in the past, Sony's consoles it just seems like it's a sticker, it's a last minute thing. And this one is a little different; it's etched in, so I think that's a plus. But like the Star Wars ones they came out with, it just seemed like they just kind of say, "Hey, let's put this sticker on here," and I don't even know if it was a sticker or not. It just looked like one from the images I saw. It's like there's minimal effort put into this, and like at the end of the day, like I'm gonna go with what Dark said, like for them specifically, Sony. I think having a custom console for them, because they have so many consoles out there right now, having a custom console at this state is useless to them. Like, who's gonna, unless you're a collector, like most people already have a PlayStation 4, so they're not gonna pick this up. And it's like they really didn't need to do this. And even if if they came out with like the way Cyberpunk's console looks, like it's glow in the dark, it's got other shit on there.
Mm-hmm.
That will be different. I think a lot more people may pick it up, but
Sony still has a way to go. Trust me, I know that, man. But like, I'm
wondering if they're gonna do what's the game that's coming out? The ninja game. Jesus Christ, I'm forgetting.
Ghost of Tsushima.
Ghost of Tsushima.
I'd say Tsushima.
Tsushima.
Like, I'm curious if they're gonna come out with like this is an issue. I cause like okay, look at the Death Stranding console, right? That thing we knew about that shit like 8 months out, right? Why are we just now seeing this? The game comes out in what, next month?
Because a couple weeks ago it was delayed indefinitely, so they're like
but okay, back up before it got delayed indefinitely. Like I said, Death Stranding's console and the little baby jar, we knew about that shit almost 8 months
That's
out.
true.
You know, and this one they just like it's almost like they just threw it together last minute. Let's put some mention on it and send it out. You know, like even if they're gonna do a Ghost of Tsushima one, Tsushima, like if they're gonna do that, like we haven't seen that either. So like, is this like their last ditch effort to sell a couple more consoles? And they don't.
I definitely think it's that.
Yeah, they don't really need to though. Like,
but they're trying to pad their stats, man. You know, when you're batting 500, that 530 looks a lot better. You know what I'm saying? Like,
if I have a PS Pro right now and I saw this console, I would not. And knowing that we're about to go into a next generation of a PS5, buying this would not make any sense to me. Now, I'm gonna play devil's advocate here. I'm gonna get. I'm sure it's probably sold out, but how many did they make? Do they make 3,000 or like 40,000? Like, I don't know.
I have no idea.
And it's like, fucking the Surface Pro 3 is fucking sold out right now. But who cares? Like, it doesn't matter if it's sold out or not. But like, I just don't see myself buying this to game on. If I'm buying it, it's to collect. Mm-hmm. And just like I'm gonna do with the Cyberpunk console, I'm gonna buy it. I'm not gonna open it. I'll put that shit on the shelf for a year and a half and sell it for like $700 later on. I mean, like that's what you do with these sort of things. So, I would wait. If I didn't have a PlayStation, I wanted this console. That's one thing. But like, if I already got one, I can't see myself buying it. It just doesn't look appealing to me. Like it's something I would want. Going forward, this late in the generation, I guess I would say it that way. Like this late in generation, I couldn't see myself buying a custom console that I didn't need, that I was actually going to use. Now, if I was going to resell it, that's different. But I don't know. That some of their custom consoles just don't really appeal to me. They don't look like they put enough effort into it, and I almost think they should kind of come back and make less of them. To make it seem a little bit more special.
And add more detail and stuff. See, the way I'm looking at this, it's like not making me, run out and try to order this or get to the store or anything like that. The only thing I'm looking at this the only thing that like I'm really saying here as a plus is it's not a sticker anymore.
Yeah, that's a good thing. Like, it's not a sticker. It doesn't look like it was just like kind of like just slapped on there. But I will say this though, like, and I'll just talk about this console itself. I wish it had a little bit more to it. It's just etched, a design etched
Yeah,
on
a
it.
little
I
more
don't know.
color, stuff like that, man. Get it
And
rolling.
they put
yeah.
it on they put it on the controller as well. I don't know if the Last of Us 2 part, the section right there in the center part is going to be there. But like add some color to it, and I think they would have been fine. But again, it's going to sell. I mean, people are going to buy it. It's already sold out, But as a consumer who just like say I already had a PlayStation, this wouldn't make me want to go out and buy this. I mean, unless I was just going to resell it later on. So they made better consoles. Let's put it that way than this one. So
Okay. All right, I got you. And for people out there saying I should change my name and everything, guys, I call it how I see it. You know what I'm saying? If I see something where I'm like, you know what, I think Sony might have learned something from this and kind of moved it forward or whatnot, I'm gonna say that. At the end of the day, I'm a gamer. I prefer to play on Xbox. Yeah, I know my name, Xbot448, but it's also AKA King Neutral. I think you gotta remember that. And shout out to Lady Foxfire. What is up, Lady Foxfire? It's in the chat. Guys, we got some all-stars with Wilmy Hood, Lady Foxfire, and shout out to my brother Sir X-Man hitting up that super chat saying, me and Xbot letting you know golf rules. That's right, yo.
Let me address one of the guys in the chat real quick. Painted Gamer. He says, how many people are going to buy the Xbox One X Halo Infinite console? A shitload will buy that console.
I hope
if they no, he said, I guess I don't know if he's talking about the Series X or just the One X. I honestly, I think it would still sell. Just be simple because it's Halo, and you'll get the console, the digital download for the game, which will still work on your console going forward with the Series X. So I think people will buy it for that aspect of it. Like they'll buy it just to have the console and the game and play it on the Series X when it becomes forward compatible. So.
All right. Well, let's get K Mega in on this. K Mega, I'm actually not sure if you talked about this last night. I was hanging out with you guys for a while last night in the chat. You guys started going into Halo stuff, and I'm like, here we go.
That's what ended the show.
Yeah. So what do you think about the look of the new Last of Us Part 2 limited edition console? Do you feel like I do, that this might be a sign that Sony will get more involved with their limited editions? I think you were on the same kind of like boat as me. Like, all their limited editions look like it was a color and then they slapped a sticker on it and then called it limited edition. What do you think about the look of this one, man?
It looks okay. I mean, it's not something that I would just scream excellence, but I mean, look, my favorite custom was the Destiny PlayStation, original PlayStation.
The
4.
Destiny 2 with the gold foil
all
map,
white,
right?
Yeah, all white with the gold. That was really clean. And then I also like the Darth Vader one, but the Star Wars one. But other than that, the rest of them hasn't appealed to me whatsoever.
What about that Black Ops 3 one, man?
Anyway, so I'm trying to be cool here, right? Don't do that. But anyway, so.
They said I should change my name, bro.
I mean, no. What it is it looks good for what it is, and I think for what Sony is going to try to do is for their bigger games, they'll probably go all out for those. Now, this isn't going all out, but it is a lot better than what we've seen. Other than, like I said, the best looking one that I've seen this whole generation from Sony was the Destiny. But I don't have. I mean, look, it's fine. I know that the game is popular for the most part. I know that there's a lot of people that got issues with the game, but I still think the game is going to sell well. A lot of people's been looking forward to playing it. So I mean, it's only right for them to do this. Now, I do agree that it would be better suited for a PlayStation 5, and I think that's exactly what they were want to try to do when they were holding the game in the first place, was going to just hold it as being probably a PlayStation 5 title, launch title.
Well, they already got a remaster in the works as well, man. They're developing that as well. So
yeah, so I mean, but that didn't happen. So the game is coming out, and so they got the console that's already ready. And I think this was just this is why they didn't put so much love into it, because this was going to be like, hey, well, we already got it on the PlayStation 5. and we might have a PlayStation 5 edition, or like you said, a remaster edition, and so we'll give the a Pro edition as well. That's how I look at this. This doesn't look like it's only just got the sketching. That's it. I mean, there's no different. There's no colors to it. It doesn't even have the same colors to the game. So it's just one of those things. I'm like, it's cool. I mean, I agree with pretty much everybody else what they said, that it's going to sell decent, but I don't think it's not going to blow down doors or anything. The game is going to do really well, but for the console, I don't think people are going to pay extra to get this and the game unless they don't have a PlayStation already, in my opinion.
All right. Yo, short, sweet, to the point.
Yeah.
Absolutely like that, man. Let's go to Crispy here. Crispy, this limited edition, now they have the graphic etched into it, which I don't think they've done with any other PS4 limited edition console. What do you think, man? Is this a step up, or what do you think about the look?
So I've actually already talked about this, and I've actually stewed on it a little bit. And at this point, I almost think they're experimenting with whatever they're doing. Either it's molding into the actual shell of the console, or they're actually laser etching it. I don't know. It's hard to tell.
Good point on the molding part, because I used to be an injection molder, so
so I mean, they could, whatever is probably cost effective is what they're gonna do. I mean, it has the similar aesthetic as with some of the Xbox consoles, especially the Gears consoles. I mean, they've put all in on the Gears consoles, and I'm kind of a little disappointed that they haven't really done that with some of the other ones, because they are clearly capable of doing that. So. For them to do this, to do it in, basically, I mean, it's an all black console. I mean, I almost feel like it was a little rushed out, but at the same time, with our current circumstances, I mean, it kind of makes sense to release something, with such a big game that, could potentially sell the consoles regardless, because people are just trying to get their hands on consoles. I mean, I think I've said this story before. It might even be on here that, like I was trying to get my girl's son a Xbox One X, and it was very difficult. Like I literally had to pick one that I didn't want, because they were all sold out. And, I'm sure on the PlayStation side, it's a very similar situation. So it could be a little cash grab type thing. But I also see, them doing some things that are different at the least. In the end, a little color, a little something else there. I don't know what it could be. I mean, like we've seen, Xbox has like glow in the dark stuff, lighting, like even with that Cyberpunk, after I've seen that video, it's
that broke it down on why it looks the way it looks. Like,
yeah,
that was cool, man. That was
cool. What I mean? And that's something they should have did to begin with, which we can go into the marketing BS and and that. You know what I mean? But they did it at least, and because they're about to put it on sale, or they're trying to sell it, so they at least gave a background to it. And we already, I mean, I believe that's Ellie's tattoo, if I'm not mistaken. So there's a a significance to it. And for those people that are Last of Us fans, I mean, it's fine with me. Like it's it's something that I haven't seen from them.
Yeah, and that's pretty much like where I was going with that as well. Yo, shout out to Sir X-Man hitting up that super chat one more time. Brother, really? He said, Xbot said injection molder. Yeah, that's right, man. I used to work in a factory putting together Schick razors. So anybody out there that uses Schick razors, at some point in time, I was probably the person that made them for you.
I'm finna ask my wife right now what you said. Fred said that he was gonna call you and ask you if everything works. Okay, so she said yeah. So
yeah, but I also, she said not better than Pred though. I heard that in the background.
You didn't hear
she's supposed to say.
Tip top, it's top shelf.
That's right. That's what I'm talking about.
She said Pred is top shelf. Is that what she said?
No, she didn't say Pred was top shelf. He said, yeah. She said, no. She said, that was rusty.
She ain't got to correct herself.
Like
she ain't got to correct herself.
David Ruffin.
She said it right the first time.
She said that's why she came back home to me. That's right.
Oh my goodness.
Anyway, I do want to give a shout out to my boy Lucifer, Lou. Thank you so much, man. He just hooked me up with Shaolin versus Wu Tang, man. I didn't get a chance to get it on the Xbox yet, so thank you so much, Lou, man. I really appreciate it, man.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm on
nice.
the show. I'm on the show.
Shout out to Lou. Yeah, I think he said that he wants you to use 15 minutes of just that game for gameplay coming up, early next month. So.
Yeah, I'll definitely throw that in there. But thank you, Lou. Thank you so much, man. Appreciate it, man.
Nice. Well, guys, I think it's time to move on, and let's go to Cliffy B real quick, because Cliffy B, I guess you could say, ruffled some feathers out there on Twitter when it comes down to it, and many people had opinions as to why he did this. Okay, Cliffy B came out on Twitter and finally admitted that he should have taken the game Lawbreakers and it should have released on Xbox. And I think this is something that a lot of Xbox gamers out there, when they first heard it was only on PlayStation or PlayStation and PC, were kind of scratching their heads on why the hell he made that decision. And from what we heard, at the end of the day, it was about money. All right? When it came down to it, it was about money. And, at that point in time, I had a PS4, so I checked out the beta. I didn't think the game was bad at all. Shout out to my brother, Fame Entertainment, because me and him were playing the beta, and I had fun with it, but then I didn't really deal with it after that. Shout out to Sir X-Man hitting the super chat one more time. Shaolin versus Wu-Tang needs online big time. So there's no online play in that game? Oh, man. I didn't know that. Yo, K-Mega, did you know that?
What? Say that again?
There's no online play in Shaolin versus Wu-Tang.
No, it's not. It's not. I have the PC version, but I didn't have it on the Xbox. That's the one thing I asked him about it.
Bullshit.
Well, no, it's not. I mean, he's one developer. He's just one person that made the game. So he says that he wished he could. He had the he said he wished it, but he just couldn't really afford it at the time. So hopefully, if you guys go and support the game, then maybe we can get that later down the line. I mean, look, man, you got to commend these guys that's doing this by themselves without any.
Dude, they got Bruce Lee in there. Yeah. They got Chuck Norris.
The game is dope. Yeah, I bought the latest one on the PC because I asked him, was that game coming on the Xbox? He said no, they'll most likely probably come on the Series X, but but because that newer version couldn't run on the Xbox One X, it can only run on the Series X.
Is it because of an SSD situation?
It has nothing to do with SSD. So, but regardless of that, but no, I mean, it's just one guy. You got to support the game. The game is dope, especially if you're into fighters. I was going to plan on getting it, but man, thank you. I appreciate it, Lou. I really do. So, all right, I'll definitely use that as gameplay.
Nice. Shout out to Lucifer, a huge supporter. The shows, everybody on the panel, stuff like that. He's always out there to play games with everybody and stuff. Really cool guy. It's always a party when Lucifer joins the party chat. You know what I'm saying? But guys, getting back to Cliffy B, he finally came out and said that Lawbreakers should have been on Xbox. Now, let me go with Dark first on this one. Now, Dark, I don't know if you played Lawbreakers in terms of the beta or anything like that, but is this a surprise to you that Clifford over here, Mr. Cliffy B, came out and admitted that he made a mistake there? I know he was out there when the game was in beta, and he was trying to damage control, and he was trying to say, why, and money was involved, all that good stuff. But I think it was a no-brainer to a lot of gamers. But what do you think about this? And there's a lot of people trying to that think they have a reason as to why he's saying this now. So I want to know what you think is the reasoning behind him coming out and saying this right now.
I did play Lawbreakers, but I pretty much did the same that you did. Played it like the beta and then didn't play it anymore.
It was fun when you played it, right?
No, not
No?
really.
Okay.
I don't like those type of games. I don't like that type of style of game.
I forgot who I was
so-
talking to, man.
He's like, nah.
Yeah, no. It was. I mean, it was an experience. I mean, I tried it out. At least.
You know what else
But
is an
it was
experience? Poison Ivy. Poison
That
Ivy
is
is an
true.
experience.
That is true. I don't know. I don't know why he came out and said it, but I mean, to be honest, it doesn't really matter. I mean, like at the end of the day, like he probably should have put it on Xbox as well. I mean, he probably would have made more, some money back, on it or whatever. But I think
Probably still be active right now.
it could be. Yeah, it could have been probably. Because I mean, I know I'm gonna piss off a lot of PlayStation fans, but let's face it. But Xbox is where a lot of people play their multiplayer games.
You can't do
What
that.
happened?
You can't do that, man.
Can you say
can't
that one
come
more
back.
time, man? I just
You
really
can't come back.
after you say
man,
that-
Bot's trying to set you up. Don't let
after you
boy
say
set
that,
you
let
up
people
like
know
that.
where they can find you on Twitter as well, man.
They know where to find me. They know they can find me anywhere. And they know how I am. I won't fucking
My
respond to
man,
them. So
talk that good.
I ain't gonna respond to them. What I have to respond to? Like them just because people are always gonna have their own different opinions on stuff, and that's just And my opinion is that I think more people play their multiplayer games on Xbox. I mean, that could be wrong. I'm pretty sure it probably is wrong because I mean, a lot of people do play on PlayStation with their multiplayer games too. But
Well, they're Call of
You
Duty
know,
stuff like that, third party.
Call of Duty stuff
yeah.
like that, yeah, third party stuff. But I think it would have done better if it was on Xbox. To be honest, I mean, because a lot of Xbox people they love playing on. They love playing their multiplayer. I mean, even ask Crispy Bomb. I mean, what does he play? He plays
Mostly multiplayer, yes,
exactly.
I do.
So
And Doom
I mean,
Eternal, by the way, he also plays that.
honestly, we would have kept on talking about that game, for weeks instead of couple days. I mean, we only I think at the time I think I was on this show and we only talked about it once and that was it. We were just like, oh, okay, yeah, whatever, doesn't matter, because by that point, by the next week, it was like it was dead. So I mean, the game probably would have done a lot better if it was on Xbox. And I think it probably and I'm not saying because it wasn't on Xbox that's why it didn't do so well. I'm saying that if it would have had another party of to go to, another console to go to, it probably would have done better.
I think, me personally, with what you just said there, like, dude, I do think when it comes to the Xbox community, multiplayer games, shooters, stuff like that, I think they are willing to give the games more of a chance. You know what I'm saying? And be there longer, I would say.
Especially when it comes to like a shooter like that, it would have definitely had some traction behind it. People would have probably been playing it.
Imagine if he could have put it on Game Pass. I'm just saying.
That's true too. I mean, he could have. I don't think Game Pass was around at the time, but
no, I don't think so either.
Once it was a thing, they probably would have put it on Game Pass, and it would have probably been even more people playing it. Because I mean, Game Pass, believe it or not, is pretty big. I mean, what does it have? 10 million subscribers or something like that?
Yeah, around 10 million. Around 10 million. I think it's a little bit under.
In the grand scheme of things, yeah, it may not seem like a lot of people. 10 million may not seem like a lot, but to the extent it is a lot of people. That is a lot of people. There's a.
Well, it's about 5 times more than the other platform that has something similar as kind of like a service. You know what I'm saying? And then when it comes, but no, it's serious. I'm being serious. Though.
I think
5 times more is pretty crazy.
I think the reason why that is the way that is because a lot of those games aren't day one games to that service.
Okay, Mega,
but also,
preaching to the choir, he is, man.
But also, I think it was expensive before as well. So that kind of deterred people from going towards that service. And I think also the reason why it's not picking up any steam right now is because I think a lot of people are waiting for what they do with the PS5. So I think it's really going to come down to how those services are going to work next generation of consoles. But to get back to Lawbreakers, I think
Thank you.
Cliffy B, I think Cliffy B just, I think he seems a little bit desperate to try to, stay relevant in the gaming world, because he's not really doing games or making games or anything like that. He's just kind of, he's just trying to stay as relevant as he can, and kudos to him to try to do that. I mean, I'm all for it, I mean, but I don't know if he's trying to get a company to try to, you know give him a shot again to try to make a game, or
Well,
if
that's what people are.
you know
That's what people are saying. People are saying
I think
like
I think
he's
I think
warming.
I think he's upset that the initiative, I mean, not the initiative, but the
coalition.
coalition hasn't reached out to him about Gears. I think he's a little upset about that. And then that's why I think he's taken to Twitter as aggressively as he has been.
Yeah,
Thank you, Dark, for taking all my points. I appreciate it.
All right. Well,
Yeah, you're
Crispy's
welcome.
no, I'm just playing. Let me, yo, let me get K Mega in here real quick. Cliffy B, I'm pretty sure you saw what he said on Twitter. If you didn't stumble across it, I'm pretty sure some of those people that love to visit you on Twitter definitely shared it with you as well. So what do you think this is? I know a lot of people out there are trying to claim that Cliffy's trying to warm up to the Xbox community so he gets that job that he wants at the coalition when it comes to Gears games. What do you think about that? And like, is it really a surprise to you, like, that he actually came out and stated the obvious here?
No, people decide to know that they make mistakes, and sometimes when you get arrogant, and especially we know how Cliffy has been arrogant. He's talked more. He's talked and some of the things that he's done, and he was a rock star at one point in time with the Gears franchise, but it hasn't really panned out like he thought it was, and so sometimes you get humbled. And then you realize, once you reflect, you see, damn, I could have did this, I could have did that, whatever. So I think that was kind of genuine in the sense of him apologizing to the Xbox fans, because if you remember, once he made some certain comments, he did the same thing as dude from Respawn did, and then, of course, Titanfall 2 didn't do well at all. They were trying to cater to the PlayStation community. It didn't do well at all. Then you had Xbox fans that felt slighted because it helped, because the Xbox fans were the ones that catapulted Titanfall to even be known. And then to try to cater to the PlayStation fans, which is business, there is going to be multi-plat.
Yeah,
so
but having all PlayStation testers and stuff like that.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, it was an absolutely slap in the face. And so Cliffy did the same thing, just pretty much slapped, because at that time that was the popular thing to do, was to talk trash about Xbox, because Xbox is in whatever bad state, or just whatever the case may be. And it now starting to hit them that, look, like Otter said, Game Pass, if that game was on Game Pass, that game would still be around. Because even if it never did come to Xbox, if it was on PC Game Pass, I think it would still have more life, because you would have a lot more people that have the opportunity to try it out.
And the studio would be getting revenue as well.
Exactly, and so they can still pay the bills.
Yes.
The point of it is that, because I think like a year later, that's when Game Pass came out. So even when the game was at its bad state, if he had a good relationship with Xbox, there still would have been probably enough people playing the game just to sustain. And then Game Pass came out, and then voila, that game would have had a lot more people trying it out, because it wasn't a bad game at all. I played it. I played it for Yeah, it was really fun, and it wasn't something that was going to blow your socks off. It wasn't, because he was trying to come after Overwatch, and then there wasn't a Fortnite at that level at that time, but it was Overwatch that was the king right then. So no, that wasn't Overwatch, but it still was a fun game, and it had a place. It's just that his arrogance got him in the position where he is, and so I think it was genuine. But I also do look at this as a ploy because it doesn't seem like a lot of people may be reaching out to him because of how abrasive he has been. And so now I think that now he's seeing that that like these other people, you've seen Rod Ferguson, and there was another person that was saying that they was moving back to the UK. That was a community manager, I believe.
TC
Octus. Yeah. He's left. And he's
Ryan
left.
Cleveland.
Yeah. And there was I think a couple of more people that left. So it's one of those things that he's like, well, look, I can be here to come and to help this franchise that I helped, get kickstarted to be the $1 billion franchise that it is. I could help out. And if Xbox and nobody hasn't reached out to him, then I could see his frustration, but he's also reaching out to probably anybody and everybody. But I think overall he knows where his toast was buttered at, and that was with Xbox. And that was the Xbox fan base because of online games.
Yo, what the hell was that, Predator?
Dude, it sounds like somebody shat their fucking pants.
That murder hornet, bro. What the fuck?
Oh man, I think that means Predator wants to chime in next about.
I was just about to be done, but yeah, I'm done. Thank you.
I think that's what it means, man. I don't know.
I don't know.
I'm done now.
All this mic boom or whatever.
Talk about stopping the momentum dead in its tracks right there, man.
That David Ruffin mic, man, you better take that shit back, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, just send it back to K Mega.
Yeah, so.
All right. Well, no, Pred, stop remixing on your headset real
wow.
quick, man.
What is your face rubber? What the hell is going on? What's going on?
See, what's funny is he actually sounds louder, but
even
like,
Chipmunk was like, "Yo, that was a shark right there." Like you.
This thing picks up everything. Bro. I had to mute myself so y'all can't hear half that shit.
Oh,
yo,
man.
Pred, what do you think about this Blazinski situation here? He came out on Twitter basically stating that Lawbreakers should have been on Xbox. It's something that I know people who prefer to play on Xbox. That was the head scratcher when that game was coming out anyway. Like, why wasn't it on this platform, the platform where he kind of, he got his name and all that good stuff. But and people are kind of speculating why. Some people are like, well, he's going to be promoting his book. He wants, the mass majority of gamers to kind of like, think about buying his book. Some people said that, he wants that overseer kind of like that job at Coalition when it comes to another Gears game. What do you think's going on? Why do you think he said that? And what do you think his reasoning is here, man?
So first of all, his mouth alone will never get him hired at Xbox again. It's the way he is. He's too abrasive for what they're trying to do.
Especially now, yeah.
Yeah, especially now. Like, that's not what Microsoft is going after. So that's never going to happen. Here's a question that no one said. Like, why didn't Sony support this game? Like, why didn't they put any backing into it to keep it alive or keep it there or whatever? And like, put this game specifically on their console, and it was never advertised or touted. They never really talked about it that much. Like, it was just like, they
kind of treated it like No Man's Sky in the beginning, man.
Yeah, they took it on as a game that's coming to their platform, and they assumed like maybe they were waiting to see how good the game was going to be before they were going to do something with it, but they never tried to promote it at all to make it popular, more popular, even when it sunk. Because again, this game wasn't bad. It was. I played it. I played the beta on PC for a little bit. It wasn't.
Dude, I got crucified on social media when I said the game wasn't bad. Like, so many people got mad at me.
The problem with the game was it was out and Overwatch was out. Had that game come out a year prior, that game would have been good. But it seemed like an Overwatch clone, and that's why nobody liked it, because people were too busy playing Overwatch at the time. That's what because it was essentially a clone of Overwatch. I mean, it just might have taken a lot longer to come out than Overwatch did, but like it never got any backing or support from anybody. So, like the fact that he went to Sony instead of going to Microsoft didn't help his stance. He should have put it out on all the platforms, all the consoles, but he did what he shouldn't have done. Came out and he kind of shitted on Xbox.
Yeah.
You know, like, and that's what gave everybody on the Xbox a negative taste in their mouths because of the way he did it. He could have just put it out on PlayStation and just let it be that. But I think he said a couple of negative comments about Xbox that you know it never really took off. For some gamers, like we're not going to support it at that point at all. Even had he changed his mind and brought it to the console after that, to the Xbox console after he did that, I still don't think it would have gotten support. I think all that plays into one fact: like the game wasn't amazing, but it also, you know, you add in the fact that he shitted on Xbox gamers. Even if he came out and said, "Yeah, it's coming out," you know, 3 months later, you know, we would have probably still not bought it just for the simple fact that he came out shitting on Xbox verbally.
Yeah.
You know, so like I don't think anybody would have bought it after that. And I'm going to go back to what Dark said. I think that at this point, you know, he wants some kind of credibility and clout right now to get back into gaming, you know, get back into the industry because this is what he does. You know, he makes games. And if you're not letting someone do their art, he's going to be bored and tired, you know? So like he's sitting around thinking like, how can I get back in this? He's writing this little book or whatever right now. But like, as far as making games, that's what he wants to do. And he's not getting phone calls from the coalition. His other game flopped, you know, this game, so Lawbreakers flopped. So like, now what? Like he's looking for the next chapter in his life to do something. And if someone will give him an opportunity to make a game, he'll make one. But at this point, even like, look at that game.
He's going to go work at Kojima Studios, man.
No, because remember he tweeted out a game in between after Lawbreakers and I guess
that biking game, right?
Yes, that little ninja
like
ninja,
80s retro.
Dragon. Yeah, he tweeted that out too to kind of get some attention. Like this is what I would have done, but you guys remember this? Like you guys didn't want this. And so,
remember he did the game, the Dragon game, and then people were like, "Oh, yeah, okay."
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah. And no one, like it didn't pick up steam. Like people talked about it for a couple of weeks, and it kind of died down and stuff like that. But like every game you want to make isn't gonna make it to the front line. It's not gonna make it to a disc. You know what I'm saying? It's not gonna make it to the storefront. So like it's an ideal, and if that was his ideal and didn't go through, come with another ideal. And so his other ideal didn't work. Lawbreakers didn't work. So it's just, I think in his stance, he's trying to create headlines for himself to either A, sell his book, or B, get a job. And that's the basics of it. That's all he wants to do. So I don't think either one's going to happen. He's going to sell his book, obviously. That's something on him. But I just don't think that his Lawbreakers game was that good, considering what the competition was in that same skill set.
Overwatch was popping at that point in time.
Overwatch won Game of the Year or something.
One game over Uncharted 4, yeah.
So like, I mean, like it wasn't over. Like he was not going to get that kind of clout credibility for coming out with an Overwatch clone, especially just going to PlayStation, who did nothing with it to support it. So that was on him. Like he chose that platform. He could have. I don't know if he tried to go to Microsoft and sell it to them. But as any developer knows, if they get published, they can put the game wherever they want to, right? I don't know if it would have been successful in Game Pass. It might have lasted a little longer than it did on PC and PlayStation. But you can't come out bashing people that loved you at one point in time for years and then shit on them while you're trying to sell another game.
Yeah, definitely.
So I think that was his downfall. Like him opening his mouth, putting it on PlayStation only and PC, and bashing the Xbox community. That game would have never sold an Xbox had he came out with it a year later, 3 months later, 3 months. It doesn't matter. I think he shouldn't have opened his fucking mouth, and that's what's gotten him in trouble in the past. Just talking, you know, spreading his bullshit, and that's what his harsh, you know, the way he comes off of people, like that alone right there is why Microsoft would never pick him up again.
I got you, brother. I got you. Yo, I want to give a shout out to Sovereign Cogito hitting up that super chat. Yo, Pred, we were talking about this off air. He says, speaking on shitting on Xbox, Crossfire has turned into a beatdown Xbox every episode podcast. No matter what Xbox does, it is never good enough. And brother, I tell people all the time when I do Crossfire, because I'm on there every week, I don't sit there and fight with the guys over every single thing. I'll pick and choose my battles, and when I feel like I made the common sense kind of like argument, and I hear everybody else's argument just not make any sense, I don't argue with them anymore. I just sit back and let it go. I will say last night, shout out to Gaming Forte and Slow-Mo Backslap, as well as Predator, because Predator was there too, for making sense about a lot of the topics that we were talking about, man. Thank you for the support. Yo, Crispy, let's talk about your buddy Cliffy. I know at one point in time you had to like Cliff Blazinski here, Mr. Clifford over there. What do you think about his comments here? I mean, to a lot of people, it was a no-brainer situation. The game should have been on Xbox. Now, Cliff is not known for somebody to swallow his pride and to kind of look back at the past and kind of say, yeah, well, that was wrong or that was wrong. So why do you think he came out on Twitter and said what he said, bro?
Because he grew up. He's got a family.
Dude, I've heard
now.
that 5 times about him already. Like,
yeah, I'm going to tell you this, okay? Being a gearhead, Cliffy is the one person that made Gears happen. Made happen the way it should. They fought him about the chainsaw bayonet. It was too graphic, everything else. They fought this guy, okay? And he fought back. And I'll tell you right now, the Xbox 360 would have had far worse graphics if it wasn't for just Gears itself, okay? And a lot of people don't remember that like you can go back and you can look on YouTube or whatever, that Gears literally pushed Xbox to make a better console, okay? And yes, it may have, which a lot of people disagree with me, but it may have caused that red ring of death because they put hardware in at the last minute, basically. So my thing is that it truly, and I know a lot of people that follow me on Twitter have seen, I don't want him on the game. Okay. If you don't love the game no more, I don't want you on it. All right. But as he keeps talking, I feel that he still loves the game. And I feel like this might be his, like, I screwed up. Hey, you know what? I was wrong. And it's not, that's better than what he's probably said, because I really haven't looked. I've just heard people say, hey, he said that he should have released it on Xbox. I mean, the thing I have a problem with is that a lot of people are like, oh, Cliffy B needs to be back. Well, a lot of Cliffy B's influence is on Judgment. And the problem with Judgment was not the campaign. It was the multiplayer. And he had envisioned, almost rectifying it into like, it feels like a Halo or a Call of Duty. You know what I'm saying? And that was his problem. He didn't understand that the community itself said, we don't like this. And that's why I argue with people that say Gears 5's dead. You're wrong, dude. I watched a game die that's a Gears game. It's called Gears Judgment. Okay, it died like that. Snap of the fingers. It was 2 weeks later. I couldn't find a match for the life of me. I was playing the same 5 people all the fucking time if I found a match. And he is seeing his baby, because I truly believe that he still cares about the franchise.
Oh, I
dying
think he does too.
again, in his opinion, from what he sees. You know what I mean? He's played the game. He sees things that maybe he hasn't seen years back because he was ignorant. We all can agree he was ignorant. For him to admit this right now I was like, when I heard it, and I haven't even looked into it, I was like, man, like, not everybody's lying to me. You know what I mean? Like, he really said that? Like, Epic sold the IP not long after Judgment. A lot of people could think I'm wrong, but the game came out at the end of the generation. It was like it's almost like The Last of Us and Ghost of Tsushima coming out. That was like, here you go. Here's on a 360. There you go. It was right before Xbox One came out, and it died quick. And there's a lot of Gears players that it almost killed the franchise, that Judgment game. And he left right after it released almost. And then he did whatever he did, and then he created Boss Key Studios. Okay. And he envisioned something that he was a little bit too far behind because Overwatch came out, and then he alienated the people that loved him for making Gears and enjoying Gears, and Gears almost made them an Xbox fan like myself, and you alienated us and said, no, you don't get it there. Maybe he was salty that, Gears was all Microsoft now or whatever, but in the end, you alienated people that enjoy multiplayer gaming, and you made your game a multiplayer game. And you're going to tell me that it has taken you, I mean, for the love of God, we're going on 6 years, 7 years to realize this? This is the problem that he has. He's too late to the party. Come on, man.
I'll give you that one, man. I'll definitely give you that one. Dude, I don't remember exactly when Judgment came out before Halo 4, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So those were the two.
It came out. I think it was. A lot of people say a year. I think it was like a year and a half.
Judgment came out. Judgment came out after Halo 4.
Yeah, I wasn't sure. See, Crispy, I've never been like a really big Gears fan. This past Gears 5 to me, for me personally, it was the best story. Like the emotion, stuff like that. I really got into kind of like Kate's story and everything like that.
3 is the best.
And
sure.
Judgment,
two and 3 for me were the best.
Judgment campaign wasn't bad either. I'm not saying it was bad.
5 story was really solid.
Judgment was actually made by People Can Fly.
No, it was Epic and People Who Can Fly. It was basically like Gears Tactics. It was influenced by Epic, and People Who Can Fly made it because they did a great job of Bulletstorm, and people enjoyed it. So they're like,
and it's funny because Epic gets the flack for it, and People Can Fly don't get anything for that.
Well, I mean, because they did. I mean, Bulletstorm was an entertaining game when I played it. You know what I mean? So,
Bulletstorm was good. Yeah,
but you have to have direction. You know what I'm saying? And the voice, because Rod left far before that. I think Rod was like, I'm not doing this. You know what I mean? I'm like, he's like, I'm not doing this. Because they made it like there was a lot of linear rather than horizontal gameplay, which horizontal has always been Gears. The linear has more been just the shooting part, but now you're dropping down in front of people. You don't have the locus actually in the multiplayer or anything. And then you have a horde style campaign. That was the problem with the game. The horde style campaign, really, I didn't hate. But when I got into the multiplayer, and then you started saying, okay, all you can use is one weapon and a pistol. We were not used to that. You know what I mean? And then people were just like, I'm done. I'm done with it. You know what I mean?
I also think a lot of gearheads don't consider Judgment part of the Gears franchise anyway, so they're just kind of like...
It was a prequel. I mean, it's not like it's part of the trilogy.
They don't consider it part of the core Gears family.
I mean, like I said, it wasn't a bad story, but when you got into the actual campaign gameplay, you were basically playing Horde. You know what I mean?
I didn't like that, so I after about I think a week or so, I think I dropped it. I was just like, no, I'm good.
Hey, are we talking about Cliffy B or are we talking about fucking Gears?
Yeah,
it's
a mix. You go in and out between Gears and Cliffy when it comes
to
it.
He does love Gears, and he has obviously everybody's seen it. He's reached out.
We all knew Crispy would be emotional on this topic. Let's be honest here.
Trying to get him back on topic.
Yeah, no doubt. And speaking of getting back on topic, Sir X-Man is hitting up that super chat one more time, and he said, Cliff, he needs to help them finish Unreal Tournament 4. I've been playing the alpha for 5 years. I'm ready for it to come out to my Xbox. Yo, brother, you've been playing an alpha for 5 years. You are a dedicated gamer,
playing
man.
Star Citizen.
Yeah. we don't
that
mention
game ain't that game ain't gonna come out
we-
for a long.
we don't
time.
mention that game and what the developers have been doing to the community there, man. Maybe we should. Maybe we should have that as a
You
topic.
should. Yeah, we talked about it on GRG. That it shocked a lot of people. Like, what is going on?
They're just collecting money hand over fist over there, yo.
So much money. So much money.
All right. Well, guys, on that note, I think we should move on. And I want to move on and talk about something that I feel the community hasn't really kind of like had in their sights. We have new consoles coming out. Basically right around the corner. We have Series X, possibly Series S, and, PlayStation 5. And I see a lot of people jumping on board this whole SSD narrative and how Sony is changing the way that developers will develop games with their SSD. And guys, I'm wondering why there isn't more concern right now, because when I hear Sony is trying to change the way developers are making games, it brings me back to the cell processor and the PS3. Now, one of the things that got people really excited about the PS4 is the fact that the hardware was basically off the shelf and then customized. So it was more like the PC, and people were happy. A lot of people breathed a sigh of relief that Sony wasn't going to go in there and try to modify some key component of the PS4 the way they did with the PS3. All right? And I don't know why more people aren't talking about this, but when it comes down to it, people are ready to claim SSD as the king. And I'm like, when Sony goes in and tries to like mess around with the internal hardware and try to bring something new to the industry like that, you get a cell processor situation. So I don't know why, Hold on. I'm going to breathe. Who wants to tackle this first, by the way? I don't even know who to go to first. Who wants to tackle
I'll go first.
All right.
I'll go first. All right. So I had this discussion when I was on the...
first off, do you see what I'm talking about? Everybody is ready to claim this.
I asked a general question to one of the people on the panel, because he came in there and said that I didn't know anything about about tech and stuff like that. Now, I never claim out to be a tech guy, but I know a lot of tech guys. You, Lemon, Don, the Six Layer. There's so many other people.
You surrounded yourself with a pretty good
I'm
crew
surrounded with people, that knows tech. And it blew my mind, because when I built my PC, the thing that was, if you want the fastest speeds, it's the M.2, not an SSD. So I'm like, oh, okay. So that's what I got, was an M.2. I explained when I asked the question, I said, look, because he was bringing up all this stuff about the SSD, blah, blah, blah. Of course, we seen the video that came out where there was some PC guys that talked about this $800 SSD. And they was like, look, we got 3 of them right here, and they're a lot faster than what the PlayStation 5 can provide. Well, then I was told, well, those are for servers, aren't for consoles. I get that. I understand that. I don't know if that's true or not, but I took it for whatever it was. And then I asked this question. I said, but overall, is the Series X more powerful than the PlayStation 5 overall? I asked that question like 20 times. And I kept getting this answer, this reply back of, what do you define as power? What part of power? Bro, it was the most cringiest thing ever while this dude was telling me I didn't know what I was talking about. And I'm like,
overall processing power. Like,
yes, overall power between both consoles, which one is more powerful? And I kept getting like side answers about define what power is. It could be anything. It could be the GPU. I said overall power. The word overall means everything put together. They are so fixated on this because of the demo that was supposed to be shown at GDC, that these guys think that it's going to catapult the
dude, what if I told you that demo, the size of that demo is just the size of that one demo, which is that one scene, is equivalent to 2 or 3 downloads of GTA 5.
Look, I don't even know, bro. They even said that it was going, that it could be played on an older graphics card. Like that it blew my mind. Like I get it. It's the PlayStation is going to be faster in that sense than the Series X because of however that is constructed. But the point of the matter is that it's not going to dominate the raw power of what the Xbox Series X is going to provide. It's just not. I mean, we already know that it's going to be actually a 9.2 teraflop machine that can be overclocked to 10.3. And Xbox is not even going to do no overclocking. Just think about what that behemoth would have been if it could have been overclocked. The thing of it is that the speed will benefit, but it's not going to do these wondrous things that people are pretending that it's going to be, and it blows my mind. I mean, like, it shows how many people that's been bragging and saying that they have their $2,000, $10,000 PCs, and they don't have shit. That's just the absolute factor. But they don't know nothing about what they're talking about. They just listening to what Mark Cerny is saying, and then they're just going with it. And it's what's going to happen is that they're going to be quiet once everything is put out there. And this is also another thing too. They don't have anything else to brag about with the PlayStation because PlayStation haven't given them anything else that's going on within the box. So this is all that they can live off on. Yeah, right. What'd you say?
They got their audio that they've been talking about.
Well, I know that, but they're not talking about the audio like that. It's all about the SSD. That's been their primary point and factor until PlayStation says something else, and then it go back to the normal thing about games and that it will never be the power and it's only about the speed. It's really funny to me that they just won't accept the fact that console is not going to be on par of what the Xbox One X is going to be. I mean Series X is going to be. It's just not. And I understand that the speed is important, but it's not going to generate anything that's going to build raw power compared to its competitor. It's just not going to do it. And I hate to say that, but I don't hate to say it because it's the truth.
You hate to crush streams, man. You hate
I hate to crush streams. I hate it.
But the thing is, all right, the thing is, like, SSD is a real quick thing to say, but when Sony, from what Sony is doing, it's the entire I/O throughput that, it grabs the information from the SSD and the way it brings it into the game. And see, to me, that's the thing right there that would be my concern, because if Sony is messing with something that is such an important thing in game development, like they did with the CPU in the PS3, and the reason why the PS4, a lot of people breathed a sigh of relief is because Sony didn't really go crazy on the internals trying to make their own way to develop a game.
I'm going to read this to you, Bot, because this is cracking me up right here, right? Obviously, this bothers them about Xbox being more powerful. So let me read this part. With Smart Shift, if that 14% translates to the PS5, we're talking about 3.99 gigahertz on the CPU, AMD 11.8 T-flops on the GPU.
Oh man,
bro, that is like I said. It bothers them. It already bothers them about the Xbox being more dominant in power.
They're trying to create a narrative.
It makes no sense.
But these
guys don't have no PC. They don't know. They have no clue what's going on here. And no console is ever going to be anywhere as powerful as somebody's $5,000 rig. It's not. The Series X is going to be great. The PlayStation 5 is going to be great, but it still is not going to compare to somebody who is a diehard all-in PC gamer that buys the top of the line stuff for
when the new graphics cards and stuff come out, then you'll definitely see that traditional PC at the top if you're going to spend the money for it, and then consoles below that in terms of power. But it's if you're going to spend the money for it, you know what I'm saying? That's one of the good things that's about console is they are reasonably priced, man. Yo, shout out to Sir X-Man hitting up that super chat one more time. He said, can you see Sony's trying to change the narrative? And yo, right there, it's a business thing. I can definitely see that. Yo, Face 23, Brooklyn, New York, hitting up that super chat. Thank you for the support, brother. He says, people keep talking about the PS5 SSD. It's not only about the SSD, it's also 12-channel I/O throughput with Kraken keyword efficiency. And I think, Face, unless you're not listening right now, I did say it's about the entire throughput. But when you have Sony going in there, trying to change the game on how a developer develops a game, if I look at their track record, if I look at their history, why aren't more people concerned that they're going to do a cell processor type joint to this SSD? I even went in, and even as far back as 2008, because I was waiting for somebody to say, developers are saying it's great. Dude, I have a whole list of developers talking about how powerful the cell processor was and how they think they can get the most out of it. That was in 2008, and they never really did. Okay? So when it comes down to it, a lot of developers will look at it and be like, yo, that's cool. If I could just get my tools wrapped around that, I could come out with something crazy. But at the end of the day, like, Sony's got a history here. And I don't know why people aren't looking more at that. I mean, people are ready to look at Xbox's history down to its core at this point in time. And when you look at Xbox, they have come out with, their vapor chamber, stuff like that on the One X that worked great. My Project Scorpio is still quiet to this day. So when they're moving forward with new technology, I actually kind of trust how they're putting things together more than if Sony is coming out here saying, we're going to change the way that developers develop games. I don't, Crispy, what do you think on this, bro? Do you think that I'm just reaching here, or does this seem like this is a common sense way to look at it? If you look at the history within all of it, are you like, would you be concerned that Sony is going to sell processors something like the SSD where it pulls assets into the game?
Well, this is what we come down to. If you saw from the PlayStation 3, the first party took advantage of it. I mean, let's be honest here for a second. That's something that the first party can take advantage of. And we keep bringing in PC for a second. Most PC gamers think frames per second is king. Am I wrong? I mean,
No.
Most PC gamers, frames per second is king. They'll play it at 1440p. Well, guess what? It was 1440p, 30 frames per second on that demo. Do you know why? Because there's a bottleneck between the CPU and GPU, because they're trying to run those assets off the SSD, which, I mean, hey, it worked for that, but is it going to work for everyone? And that's where I go and say there's a lot of, third-party developers that are looking to not just, develop for one console. That's what we call second party. Am I correct? I mean, let's be serious for a second. There's a lot of companies that are going to continue to run and develop for every single platform they can. And we're getting into the realm where you're going to go and say an SSD is the end-all, be-all. No, it's going to run the way we want it to on that SSD. And, I'm not a tech guy, but in the end, it just doesn't make sense to me. I mean, we've already seen that Dirt 5 is going to run 120 frames per second on the Series X. If they're not, I'm telling you right now,
that third party, it's probably going to do the same thing on the PS5, man.
I don't know.
Right, like that's another thing too. It's third party and second party is going to. Well, I should say third party more so. Yeah, they're not going to utilize all of this stuff. It's only going to be for first party games. So I mean, that's going to be evident too, because it is what it is, because they don't, especially for the people that they got third party deals with. They already know that the Series X is going to be more powerful. If they gave the Series X just about the same type of love, it would look better on the Series X. So they can't try to use both. So, and they don't got time to do that because they got to get to the next game.
And it's the beginning of a generation. You see like third party, it takes them a while to really get into using the systems to their fullest when it comes to a new generation as well. So
sorry to cut you off.
You know, but SSD is it's a newer technology. You know, it's something, you know, we're always used to the regular hard drives. And where I go and say is Series X already said, okay, you know, you have 1 terabyte of SSD. Okay, it's clocked down compared to the PlayStation. It's not as powerful. All right. But
well,
you
SSD is not new. It's old.
Well, but for
it came out in the 90s.
For consoles.
Yeah, for consoles it is, but I was going to say overall it came out in the 90s.
So like, you know, I've watched where the little memory card, as I like to call it, comes into play. This actually came from cameras. A lot of people don't realize this. This came from SanDisk.
Yeah.
And then Seagate has adopted this technology, and Seagate has always had a great partnership with Microsoft. Not just that, but Microsoft has built this console around also software. Now, is the software going to work? We don't know yet. We don't. You know what I mean? But Microsoft is a great software builder. Okay? And you're going to sit here and tell me that Sony is not trying to use backdoor technology or using, you know, what they consider the most important thing on games that are third party. I don't think so. They're looking at their first party.
Yo, Crispy, when you get a chance, can you shout out that super chat real quick so this way I don't interrupt you constantly talking?
Okay.
All right.
Sir X-Man with a $5 super chat. Sony's supposed to be the hardware company. Microsoft's supposed to be the software. How does Microsoft make better hardware? Explain it to me, please. I love Xbox.
Wow, Sir X-Man going in on that one. He's like, how are they making better hardware if they're a software company?
Well, you know what? And that's where we go back and say, Phil's got a seat at the table, and he says, you know what? We got to make the better hardware. I'm sorry. I mean, people could sit here and ignore it and just, you know, try to bring up, all you got is no games, Gears, Halo. You know what? People love Gears. People love Halo. Okay? I love that Microsoft has not left us behind, even though we love these franchises. And that's where I go and
hardware question real quick. Look at Surface. Look at their Surface line.
Yeah, their hardware is sick with the Surface.
Surface.
They're the same people that are making these consoles now. That's the same team, from my understanding. So that's
busy.
Why.
What Vio's making?
They're not.
My bad.
Oh no.
Dude, it's and that's where I go and say it's a cohesive unit. I think we're gonna get. I think you know Phil is not going to let this console fail. His confidence that I've seen in his interviews. He's been who from Sony's been doing interviews with random freaking IGN, this person, that person. You know what I mean? Who's been doing it? It's been Phil, because Phil, I mean, you see the smirk on his face, you see the confidence he has, and it's just like, I don't even need to see any more. I see that this guy gives a shit, and he cares, and he wants at least our community, which is the Xbox first gamer, to say, wow, you know, we are going to be impressed. And I think they're upset of what they gave us on Inside Xbox. And at the same time, I see 120 frames per second. I see this and that. And they're starting to promise us these type of specs. I'm excited. Am I super impressed with what they showed us? No. But it was a lot of trailers. I wanted to see more gameplay, stuff like that. And that's where I go and say PlayStation did a great job. They showed us Ghost of Tsushima. The problem is it was running on a PlayStation 4 Pro. So what are we going to say about this? Are we going to have the same type of, hey, why are you just showing us on a PlayStation 4 Pro? Why can't you go to the PS5? Where's the PS5? Why haven't we seen it? These are all things that, you know, I think about, and people are like, oh, you're just being a fanboy. No, I want a SOCOM. I grew up on multiplayer gaming on PlayStation 2. PlayStation 2 basically showed me multiplayer gaming because I didn't have an original Xbox. So show me something, please, for the love of God.
Nice. Yo, shout out to the guys hitting up that super chat. Thank you so much, guys. I have Sovereign Cogito here who says, Light fast travel is going across the GTA 5 map in 5 seconds. Requires a little above 2 gigabyte speeds. 1.5 gigabyte speed SSD speeds is enough to pull in assets for super fast traversal. PS5 is significantly weaker. Oh my goodness! Shout out to you, brother. Thank you for that super chat. Yeah, yeah. Hold on. I got another one here. I know it's Ps5. I just gotta get to you, brother. Yo, no hard feelings here, man. I'm just trying to scroll. Here we go. Yeah, Ps5, Brooklyn. Shout out to you, man, supporting the show in the channel. He says, I am willing to bet Xbox 448, a $60 game, the difference between the Series X and the PS5 will be negligible. Rand Al Thor will vouch for me. Brother, I don't want you buying me a game, man, so I'm not going to take that. Like, I'm sorry, dude. I'm not trying to take $60 out of your pocket like that, brother. And Sir X-Man, one more time. He said, Sony got a problem selling their TVs. You know, they show their PlayStation with their TVs a lot, man. But their TVs are choice. So from what I've seen, they make a quality TV as well.
They make good televisions. I got a Sony Bravia. Oh.
Yeah. So, you know, when it comes down to it,
QLED,
my whole thing is people are so ready to, like, you know, give their firstborn to Sony over this whole SSD situation. And I'm thinking to myself, the last time they popped the hood on the family car and started tinkering with the engine, you know, there was a bunch of problems. It was called the PlayStation 3 and the cell processor. Why aren't more people thinking like that in terms
They
of...
thirsty. Man.
You know, like, damn, like, I don't want that to happen again, okay? But I'm not going to turn a blind eye to something like that. You know, when it comes down to it, they're getting their mitts in there and they're creating a new way to develop games. And I'm like, but you're not game developers. Not Crispy. Angry Otter. What do you think about this situation? Do you think that I'm just, you know, barking up the wrong tree here? Do you think it's something to keep in mind when it comes down to it? Like, the way I look at it, Sony does have a track record here. All right. So why aren't more people thinking the less that Sony really gets in there and tries to develop a new way to develop games, the better off they are? It was called the PS4 and they did fine with that one. But what do you think, bro?
I think you're always barking up the wrong tree.
Leave it up to my West Coast brother, man.
You know what? I honestly do not know much about what's going on with this, but the only thing I can really say is that both consoles are going to have SSD, and they're both going to be very powerful consoles. I think the Xbox will be a little bit more powerful than the PS5, but not to an extent to where you're going to really notice a huge difference.
Dark, hold on one second. Yo, 1 second. Shout out to Seth. Track record is 1 gen, eh? Well, the funny thing is, Xbox has shown ever since they went out there and they shown in the VGAs, they showed the system and stuff like that. They shown that they're moving away from this gen, and nobody will let them pass this gen. Everybody keeps talking about the mistakes that they made this gen, even though they are showing healthy signs that they are moving forward and doing things differently. They bought up a bunch of studios. They have multiple teams within these studios to work on both AA, AAA experiences. They're talking about having multiple exclusives out per year, yet people still are saying that Xbox has no games. You see what I'm saying? Like, if
the reason why people say that, though, Bot, is because of the fact that all those games are going to PC as well. That's why people are saying that, because...
But Sony's games have been on PC
right.
and going to PC as well.
No, you're right. But you got to remember that Sony's still going to have some exclusives, too. Only going to be on PlayStation. Only. That's it. It's not going anywhere else. It's only going on PlayStation. But then they're also going to have those games that are going to go PC. When Xbox is more like, we're doing Xbox and PC all at the same time. Is it working for them? Yes, it's definitely working for them. and it will continue to work for them next generation. I think a lot of those games that we're gonna get next generation, and they're gonna be interesting from both parties. I think Xbox and
Dark, are you
PlayStation.
watching the chat right
Dark,
now?
hold
Yeah,
on.
I
Let me
have.
ask this question
All right.
before he
Well,
reads that.
can Dark read the super chat real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah,
Let him
I'll read
let
that.
him
You gotta say
yeah.
you gotta say
Thanks.
the name the way I do. By the way.
I don't think I can say it the way you do. Phase 23, Brooklyn, New York. Xbox has to move past this gen. They already lost the Xbox One gen. They have no choice but to move on, which is it's absolutely true. You're absolutely right on that, Face. They definitely have to move away from the Xbox One generation. It'll be a slow process because people have proved it last generation. Plus, they're going to prove it again this generation that they're not going to go out and buy the next consoles right away. We are, of course, because we're the hardcore gamers. But there's going to be a lot of gamers out there that aren't going to go out and buy the PS5 or the Xbox Series X right away. They're going to wait and see where they can get the best deal, and that's where they're going to go and get their gaming fix from.
Unless you're Mega Money Dark and you're just gonna buy both systems day one, that's it.
That'll probably be the case, unfortunately.
All right, so let me ask you
not.
this question. So when you think of Xbox's parent company, what do you think of?
I think of Microsoft.
Yeah,
I
but
think of,
what is Microsoft synonymous for?
well, I think of PC.
Right,
That's the
right.
thing.
So I
mean,
mean,
that,
and when you
I
think of
agree
Sony, but no, I'm just asking a question. But when you think of Sony, what do you think that they're synonymous to? Like, what is their thing?
the PlayStation. I think
Right. So
that they're
so how is it made? So that's the thing to me that I think that so many gamers keep forgetting,
Mhm.
or they don't forget, they know, but they try to skirt that past because they think that nobody ain't really thinking about that, and let's just talking about just the console. You can't talk
yeah.
about both. The parent company is it is like not a founder, but is part of PC. Like, I mean, it is what it is, so it makes perfect sense.
But
So I
that's
don't know.
that's the thing with
Yeah.
that whole situation is that people go they seem to forget that the beginning of this generation that Sony was kind of in the black. They were not doing so well in terms of just with their company. But once they started consolidating and um, you know really focusing on the PS4, that's when they really started making good strides in as a company. So it's going to be interesting next gen to see what they do with the PS5, because if they screw up with the PS5, which I don't think they will, if they do, it'll be very damaging to the Sony brand.
Oh my goodness. Yo, shout out to
Sir X
Sovereign.
Man back again.
Yo, Sovereign, real quick. I will look into that more. Sovereign sent me something from Epic China talking about the L0 and the L2 cache when it comes to this. Yo, shout out to you, brother. I
Oh
appreciate
yeah,
that.
I seen that. I thought you already
Yo,
seen that, but I
that
would have posted that in there with you guys. Yeah,
yo, feeding the compute units like that. Oh my
they
goodness,
they
man.
were clowning. They were clowning. That it was
Oh.
bad stuff. I'll read the chat since he said my name. Sir X Man in the chat, he said, "K Mega, I think of Sony's this man. Sony is known for electronics, for hardware. They're
They
good
are.
at what they do. They're good
Yeah.
TVs, electronics, all that. It's just the fact to me is Sony is going to make a great console. I get that. I'm not disputing that. But I mean, you got to give credit where credit is due. Xbox is not only changed what their design looks like because of the thanks to the people that's been working on the Surface, but they've also really paid attention to the mistakes that they did in 2013. So I don't know why the hell anybody would try to downplay what they've done. They have been very, like Crispy said, they have been very, almost to the point, cocky of being just being confident of what they got and what they present, and they're not really worried about what the competition is going to do. The only thing else is, right, what we're seeing is Sony playing chicken with the price point. That's it. They're even willing to wait till August to get into to see what the price is going to
I
be,
saw
because
that.
really when it comes to that, that's the main factor.
They're both playing
Yeah.
the game when it comes to price.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Because that's what it's all about.
I don't think Xbox is being cocky at all. I think what they're doing is that they're.
Well, I should say cocky. I meant confident. That's what.
Yeah, they're confident. They're confident, and they're definitely they're taking strides to give gamers an experience that they've been begging for, and then they're also they're definitely playing the letting devs do what they want to do on that console, and that's just, it's a smart strategy. I mean, both companies have smart strategies, and it's going to be interesting next gen to see which one will prevail and which one won't.
Nice.
Ultimately.
Nice. Let's get Pred in on this. I believe me and Pred were talking a little bit before the show. Of course, my brother Predator was the first one in the hangout to come and hang out with me, getting ready for the show and everything. And of course, you talk about, some of the topics that are going down. So, Pred, when it comes down to it, Sony, when they go underneath the hood and they try to evolve the game development process, we've seen it with the PS3. It has a chance to really not work out well. Let's just put it that way. And of course, with the PS4, I feel like people, again, they breathed a sigh of relief that Sony didn't really go in there and tinker with a lot of things and try to like reinvent the wheel. And you saw the PS4's popularity. So now we're talking about the PS5, and everybody's claiming this whole SSD IO throughput, which is definitely interesting for people who get into tech. But I'm surprised more people aren't like, yo, Sony, maybe you should just hold back with that screwdriver real quick and kind of stay with the program in terms of the PS4. But what do you think, man? Am I just like looking too deep into this right now?
I would say this far out, since we really have no fucking clue what Sony's doing, that they haven't shown us the console. They showed us the specs, controller. Mark Sony did his little thing, whatever the fuck that was. Like, I think we're a little too far out, and we really can't really gauge what is going to be under their hood until we actually get the console.
I mean, but this is stuff they've talked about, though, man.
Yeah, and the stuff they've talked about, like what they say now, it could be smoke and mirrors because they're really good at that. And I don't want to turn this to a bashing PlayStation thing, but they've been really good at telling us things in the beginning, and showing us games way far out in advance, and using that to their advantage. And so, like in this situation, the fact that we haven't seen anything about their console other than the specs, and like I said, the Sony thing, whatever, like talking about the positive things that they know that are good about their console is what they're supposed to do. And the Sony camp fanboys will harp on that. Just like it's ironic that they, and I say they as in the Sony camp, like they hype up this SSD, but I've never heard anybody concerned about why they haven't seen the console and all the rumors about them overheating.
Oh, Pred, they don't need to. They're number one right now. That's what you hear.
About them delaying the console, delaying stuff like their show that's supposed to be coming out. Like you don't hear them talk about that kind of stuff. Like that's the stuff they should be. Just like how we and I see someone's super chat here. I'm gonna read this real quick.
Yeah, thank you, brother.
Yeah, there's two of them.
Brooklyn. NY. You guys should thank Sony for the whooping they gave Xbox. So Xbox is a lot better now for it. But I will say this: what are you guys doing as PlayStation fans about the situations I just discussed? Because I don't see you guys talking about those things. Like, you can talk about your SSD all you want to. Okay, great. But why are you not concerned about them not showing you a console? Why are you not concerned about them not showing you gameplay footage on the PS5? When the competition has been doing what they're doing, and it's basically, coming out and saying, hey, we're transparent with what we got. But I mean, obviously we got June, if they have their show in June or July, I don't remember. June. So
June.
like
June.
whenever they're
Yeah.
supposed to do their show, like I mean, we got until then, but like what have y'all been talking about up until that point? Like why are you guys not like getting on them like the same way Xbox fans got on this Microsoft about our console and what we wanted, you know? So I mean I agree with his to some degree with his stance. Like yeah, Microsoft got their ass kicked, and it made not Microsoft, Sony got their ass kicked, so it made Microsoft kind of go back to the drawing table and rethink a lot of things. But like, you guys got to get to that point too. It's good for competition for both companies, for both of us, both sides, Xbox and Sony, to question what those companies are doing because we want certain things out of those companies. We're consumers. We got to ask for more, right? So I think the whole SSD thing, you know, I'm not going to get involved in that tech side of it because it's like so complicated. It's like I don't know. Just put it that way. I'm not going to sit and act like I can sit up and break it down for you. I'm not a developer. I don't fucking open up, fucking look at specs and shit like that on that level. But my concern is the fact that no one's questioning what Sony's doing right now. Like, why is no one asking those hard questions? And you giving them a pass for the same things that we as Xbox gamers would not allow on the Xbox side. Like, question the same people.
Can
Go
I
ahead.
chime in there?
Yeah.
Because you know normally I'm more of a PlayStation gamer anyways. So from speaking from my standpoint, I'm not really concerned about the console. What I'm concerned about is that they haven't shown anything. Right, I'm concerned that they haven't shown any games. They haven't shown, they haven't even given us a date on when we're gonna see the PlayStation show. They haven't said anything. That it's concerning to me because it's like I want to see that stuff.
Have they even officially come out and said that this console's coming out holiday?
No, they haven't.
I thought they did. I thought they said
They
that they
might
were
have.
actually. I thought I read something here this week.
It
that
might
they
have been
said
a-
that-
October.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but no, they're definitely. Yeah.
Well, let's be honest.
It's something. Hold on, before y'all cut me off again.
Yeah,
Like,
go ahead.
my thing is like the confidence level with Sony right now is my concern because they are the market leaders. They should be the ones coming out at the forefront and saying, "We got this." You know what I'm saying? Like if you know your shit works, it works. You know what I'm saying? Like, but the thing is, like, they haven't come out and said that. Now I'm getting both consoles. You know, at some point in time, I'll probably get my PC fixed first, and then my Xbox, and then my PlayStation 5. But the fact that they're not as confident as I think they should be. Like, if they know their shit works, they know they got the game situation squared away. They know they can drop off exclusives, that are going to be hot. Like, and they got market share right now. They got the mind share and everything. Why are they not, using that to their advantage? And it concerns me.
Yeah,
that's my concern. I don't have a problem with the console. I think the console's going to work fine. It's the fact they're not talking about it is making me concerned about it.
Well, and I mean,
and you bring up a great point there, Brett. That
Hey, I bring up great points too. Okay.
I know you do. Man. I know you do sometimes.
No.
But I think you're right, Brett. I think PlayStation gamers should come out and kind of voice a little bit more of their concerns. Maybe not. I think it's like, I think they look at it as like, if I concern, what you mean by concern is a little different from what they mean by concern, and I think they should come out and say, hey, we want to see stuff. We want to see stuff because I think we should be seeing stuff. We should be seeing stuff from PlayStation, and it could be that what you're saying is that they're either not confident enough or they're too confident, and they think that they might be too confident to where it might be a PlayStation 3 situation. I really hope not, and I really don't think it will be, but I think that we should come out and say the concerning things that how we feel is going on. But I think a lot of the thing is that a lot of PlayStation gamers aren't concerned because they're getting The Last of Us 2, they're getting Ghost of Tsushima, they're getting those games coming
running on the PS4
But
Pro.
let me ask this question.
They're not.
I don't know if that's going to run on the
concerned.
PlayStation 5. They're not discussed that yet.
Well, that's that, but they haven't shown that, and that's the point where I go and say, okay, you got the talcum powder, you got to rub it in your hands. Are you going to throw out that pin, or are you not? You know what I'm saying? Like seriously, like
Whoa.
you got to understand that I have watched PlayStation dominate generations. Like I've watched them dominate it. You know what I'm saying? And then you have a little game called Halo come out, and everybody's ignoring that Halo Infinite's coming out. But I see so many, even PlayStation centric gamers saying, "Man, I can't wait to what we see from it."
Dude, I'll let you know. And Crispy, I'll let you know right now that the Halo guys that like skipped shop that went to PS4, if 343 shows a quality Halo with an awesome multiplayer and really like blows the doors off with this next Halo, a lot of those people will come back on Xbox.
And I've seen that too, and that's my point. And you know what? You can go back to the games, and you know what? We can go back to the games real quick because, like I said, I'm an Xbox gamer because of Gears. You're an Xbox gamer probably because of Halo. You know what I'm saying?
Halo and Project Gotham, baby.
There you go. But you have your loves, and I feel like Xbox has never like said we're gonna give up on this beloved franchise. I hope they reinvent it. I hope they make it better. You know what I'm saying? And in the end, we have to realize that PlayStation for this entire generation has got the talcum powder. They got the pimp hand. Do something,
Okay, Megan,
man.
what were you about to say?
Give me something, bro. Give me.
No, all I'm going to say is this: you have to give credit to the PlayStation fans for being patient. Because if you look back, I mean, just like for what we talked about on GRG
we're
last
not?
night. No, we're not. We're not.
We're not waiting for fucking like 8 years.
No. Hold on. Listen to what I'm saying, though.
I know. You're about
Yeah,
to say, right.
you know what I'm about to say. Okay, so for instance, just like for what Ryan McCaffrey brought up this week about Halo, and it's been on hiatus for 5 years. The Last of Us has been, The Last of Us has been in hiatus for how long now? And so it's coming back at the end of the generation. They've been touting it. They showed that game off years ago, and it's now being able to come out. And I thought that they actually was holding it until the PlayStation 5. But the point of it is that there's a different level of degree. So if you I mean, yeah, PlayStation dominating this generation in that sense of mind share, all of that, helped out. But it was the Xbox community that stood and talked to the Xbox developers that came out there, that went to E3 and talked to them at Game Fest, and that addressed these people because they're transparent enough to want to learn from their mistakes. Now, all we're seeing right now is PlayStation fans talking about SSDs and not saying what anybody else with a right mind would say is why are you showing a controller but not the console? You didn't do that with the PlayStation 4. You didn't do that with the PlayStation 3. You didn't do that with the PlayStation 2. What the hell is going on here? And so, if that's one of those things where it's okay because they won the mind share, then you're frauding the public and you're frauding yourself as being a real gamer. You're caring more about a status that you don't benefit from. You only that's irrelevant. You're not making no money off of that. You can be a fake ass Tom Brokaw all you want to. It's not going to benefit anybody if that machine is fraudulent, or if you don't ask questions in order to get some kind of response from people like Naughty Dog properly, or from Sony for the misconducts that they've been doing for the last year or so. So I don't get it, but I will. You have to give Xbox gamers credit for the fact that they are not going to settle for less. They want better, and they're going to get better.
The only thing this generation, when it comes to the Xbox community, and I'm not saying all the gamers in the Xbox community, but when we were dealing with the whole power narrative and games like Sunset Overdrive, Quantum Break were coming out, when I had people coming to me telling me they don't know if a game is good because they don't know the overall resolution, that's when I was like, yo, you guys really need to break off from social media, stop getting into console wars, because if your idea of a good game revolves around the overall resolution on the game when it turns gold, you got issues right there. And I You need a lot of help when it comes to
But
that, yo.
I made this point last night on GRG. I said, how in the hell is any PlayStation fan trying to get into this realm amongst PC and Xbox fans about 60 frames versus 30 frames per second when they haven't had a 60 frames per second game except for their remasters?
Oh,
All
damn.
their games has been 30 frames per second. Stay in your lane. Enjoy your pretty graphics with the 30 frames per second, and hopefully that they stay stable. Don't come in here talking about you got 60 this, is 60 or death. Don't come in there with Xbox fans or PC fans that say that. Stay in your lane.
You know, everybody says about the games, and the fact is that if you love a game, you should defend it. I'm not going to sit here and say you shouldn't. If you love a game, you should defend it. You know what? Be respectful. I mean, that's what I always say. Be
Xbox.
respectful.
Yo.
And you know what? At the end of the day, you have to realize that, you know, it is about the games. I'm not sitting here, but I mean, for like me and at least except Dark, I think Dark is, you know, kind of loving the third party, you know,
Dark's
third person story driven games. Like, it's fine. It's fine. We love Dark. You know what I'm saying?
Hell yeah.
Because he brings a different perspective. And you know what? We may not agree with it because we love having a great campaign and a great multiplayer. But if you haven't experienced that, you're not going to understand what we're saying to you. And that's fine. I get it, but don't come and attack me and call me a freaking console slave and this and that.
When I heard I was like,
let me address somebody in the chat because
hold on.
Okay, go ahead.
Let me hit this super chat because we got like.
I got a bunch. Of super
damn.
chats
Okay.
going,
Oh, I didn't know that.
You got them body. You want me to?
Let me start off with the first one. Let me know when I'm caught up to you. You could do that one. So, yo, shout out to Sir X-Man one more time. He says it's always Japanese versus America. Can't we all just get along? Which one?
That was the first one, yeah. So Fail Pyromancer is next.
All right, so Fail. I'll do Fail Pyromancer. Yo, shout out to Fail. We follow each other on Twitter, and he's a really cool guy when he's not like spending the whole day talking about one side of the console war. Yo, sequels to all PS4 games and the PS4 console itself have earned our faith. We're going into spirituality here. I'm not concerned because I know what's coming. Good times. Well, dude,
that's for all praise Jim Ryan, right?
But that's the thing. Does he really know what's coming?
No, he doesn't.
It's like
he doesn't.
So it's like we should be out there voicing our concerns about things. Like I get like you may not feel like you're concerned about stuff, but it's a little concerning that they haven't. Because I want to see something. I don't know about any other PlayStation gamers out there, but I want to see something.
You heard that, Phil? Dark wants to see something, man.
I want to see stuff, man. I want to. You know, like, and they haven't shown us anything, and I'm a little peeved about that because I want to see stuff.
He's
from Xbox did this. Xbox Series X would have already been in the garbage.
Well, I got one more. I got one more super chat real quick from Failed Pyromancer. One more time, he says PC fans laugh at Xbox guys about the power of X, and dude, not for anything, but PC fans are also laughing at PlayStation guys over their keep on talking about the SSD. They're like, well, we've had SSDs for over a decade. All right, that is one of the main things. Shout out to my brother Glorious Kev on Twitter. He lets me know what's going on in the PC fan space.
Me and the other two you missed. He's Anthony. I can't say this right. Chesery. Yo, hey, games, thanks for keeping positive perspective on Xbox. And Xbox is right to sell CPU all over again. And that was a $5 super chat. And you got one more from Sir X-Man, $5. I just thought about something. Have you ever heard Have you ever heard a PlayStation person talking about this friends and community on their system?
No, not right offhand, no. But
I disagree with Bot on the whole cell architecture. I don't think that's going to happen again with PS5.
I would hope not.
Hold on. I'm not saying it's gonna happen, but I don't understand why when people are trying to be like they're trying to be fortune tellers here. They got their crystal balls on their table. That didn't sound right. But they're trying to look into their future, but nobody is looking at the past, because when it comes down to it, unless you learn from the mistake, you are bound to repeat it. All right. And when it comes to PlayStation,
but I think they've learned from that mistake, though. You know?
Well, they learned with the PS4 because they didn't mess with anything, man. You know what I'm saying? They're like, you know what? We're keeping our hands off of this thing. We'll customize.
Well, they definitely
it here
played it safe this generation, but I think they're trying to step it up a little bit next gen, and I think they will.
And let's not deny for a second that the PlayStation 5, when they actually show it, is going to be a big thing. You know what I mean? We're going to be talking about it, because you know what?
Live reaction right here, people.
We are gamers at the end of the day, and we want to see this shit like we do. We want to see what they're capable of.
All right, with the Kumbaya shit, great, all that, crispy. But anyway, let's get to the real topic. I see somebody come with some bullshit. Let me just go ahead and let you know. Digital Foundry, since y'all want to use
Foundry.
Yo,
dude, you're starting to sound like you preach it right now, man.
I was, you know what I'm saying?
Digital Foundry.
Last night. But anyway, Digital Foundry said themselves on the PS4, you know what I'm saying? Unfortunately, you know what I'm saying? GT Sport, it couldn't hold a steady 60 frames per second. Sorry, bro, it wasn't. Maybe on the Pro.
So you didn't make me feel sorry, because I was just talking about frames per second.
I was talking to you. There was somebody in the chat that was saying, but GT Sport with 60 frames per second still wasn't, because it couldn't even hold.
Yeah, there wasn't very many games that were at 60 frames per second on the PS4.
Right. So that's what I'm saying. Don't come in here and start talking about 60
there were
frames
some
death for that was third party, not first party.
When K-Mega comes out with stuff like that, like he goes in and checks it all out first. Man.
Yeah, I check that shit all out. I don't just come out here to just be wolfing tickets. I try to tell these guys, but listen, the thing of it is
wolfing tickets.
God of War is 60 frames per second. Okay, I got you.
What?
No,
somebody said that.
It was 30. It was 30.
Go right there. Portal player. All right, brother.
Portal, come on, bro. Come on, man.
Well, you know how it is, man. They will be on
PC.
You know how it is.
He said how it is. Yo, you heard Fred? It will be on PC.
Well, it's like
PC. PlayStation Studios will make sure of that.
Oh, damn.
It's like when Horizon Zero Dawn comes to PC, it'll be probably 30 frames per second or higher. Like that's just how it's going to be.
Depending on what your rig can do, man. Like,
right. Exactly. Correct. Yeah. So
that's a PC thing.
That is definitely a PC thing, and that narrative should never be in consoles at all. I don't think FPS should be in consoles at all, because I think at the end of the day, console gamers, I think a lot of them don't really care about that. Like us hardcore gamers,
care about that.
I'm saying like the majority of console players do not care about that stuff.
Do not care. You're absolutely right.
You know,
guys,
just
real quick.
Playing 30 frames per second forever. That's why I'm like, it trips me out. Like, anyway, go ahead.
Real quick. I just want to say the super chats have been absolutely incredible. So much information, yo. Sovereign Cogito in the super chat one more time. He says Jason Ronalds has confirmed that there are going to be a deep dive for the velocity architecture. The SSD narrative will be leveled, and that's something I tried to tell people as well. You know, when you look at it, you got to look at all the components, and with the velocity architecture put together with the NVMe, like there's some things underneath the hood of the Series X as well in terms of pulling assets and stuff. Sir X-Man hitting up that super chat one more time, brother. Are you paying me for all the skins that I took off your hands and 108's hands the last time we played golf, man? He said, I have said it before. No one listens to me. Sony was not ready for the next generation. I wish someone would believe me. I believe you, Sir X-Man. You know this, brother. I believe you. All All right, guys. Unless there's anything else that needs to be said, we can actually, end the show at a decent time. So, is there anything else from you guys about this topic?
Nope.
No, I just
Pred's like,
I-
no.
I'll just say it again. I think
Nope.
we need to see something from PlayStation for sure.
Yeah, definitely. And now, people are saying, well,
I
we're
don't think
hearing-
they have time to wait. To be honest, I think they need to show something, even if they don't show us the pricing of it. As long as they show us something, and show us, anything, it'll be fine. We'll be okay.
It'll be huge. Yeah.
Yeah,
it will.
it'll be huge.
These two companies are going to be doing a price dance, like up until somebody's like, you know what, we got to show how much these things are. I can see that happening because Microsoft, they're just waiting to show the less powerful system at like $100 less than what the PlayStation is doing. You know what I'm saying? But guys, on that note, it has been really quick. The show went really quick today. I got to give a huge shout out to the chat. Everybody who hit up the super chat, everybody who is getting into the topics tonight. The chat has been absolutely insane, absolutely incredible. I don't have enough adjectives to describe you guys tonight. And of course, the panel was pretty good too, right? I'm saying they're pretty good. But
Don't pat yourself on the back too much, bro.
the panel was pretty good. I gave it all to you guys. The panel was pretty good there. Yeah, but it has come to that time, like a 40-year-old with a comb over. It is time to get those plugs in. And of course, I'm going to start with Pred because I know he wants to get the hell out of here. So, Pred, it was really good hanging out with you last night on Crossfire, and you see the hell that I go through every Friday. But I absolutely love the people in the chat who actually do listen to Common Sense. Those are my people on Friday nights, and then I see them over here on Saturday. Why don't you let people know where they can go to talk games with you, bro? And if you have anything else, any other plans, man?
Keep that mic.
I did keep the mic. Yeah, next podcast next week, Saturday. So I'll see you guys next week. I was happy to be on Crossfire yesterday. I understand the bullshit you have to go through with those guys now, the way things have changed. But it's still a good show. So
Yeah.
don't let don't let that deter you from watching those guys. We're all one big community. We all listen to each other and all play games together and stuff like that at the end of the day. So it is what it is. Still love those guys, and I guess I'll see you guys next week, and I'll have a new avatar. I don't know what it's going to be, but we'll figure it out.
Oh, is it going to be a murder hornet with like Hillary Clinton's face on it? Because I've seen those going around.
I don't know. I don't know.
Stay tuned to find out, people. And I got to say, when it comes to Crossfire last night, Predator, Gaming Forte, and Slow-Mo Backslap were definitely the MVPs of Crossfire last night. So shout out to you, Pred, and Slow-Mo, and Forte. Let's go to Crispy here, because Crispy, man, you got energetic with some of the opinions, some of the topics. You got emotional when it came to Cliffy, man. I swear I heard a tear at one point in time. Like, he still cares about Gears, man.
He does.
Yeah. Why don't you let people know about the other shows you're on? Because you're not just on here either. Let them know about the other shows. And, of course, where they can go to talk games with you, reminisce about when Cliffy was working on Gears, doing all that stuff, man.
Yeah, man, I'm still trying to clean this sticky-ass turd off my shoe,
Oh,
man.
no.
Like, what? But in general, you could always find me, Saturday night, 7 p.m. on the next podcast. You could also find me.
Why? That just
It's
gave
sticky. It's sticky because it's the same narratives.
That gave it an extra
'Cause it's
layer,
fresh.
man.
That's why it's fresh.
Ugh.
Fresh church stick.
Nope. Those shits stick to the foot. That's what I gotta say. And in the end, you can find me on Retro Renegade 7 p.m. Tuesday nights, and now you can find me on Breakfast with Boom,
Nice.
10 a.m. Friday morning. And hit me up on Xbox Live. It's CrispyBomb28. And, I will play games. If I don't have to pay for it, Game Pass is a lovely thing. Let's go.
Nice, brother. I love that. He's every time he signs off, he's like, and I will play games. Like, guys, I'm serious. I actually play games. Yo, absolutely love it. Yo, my brother from the West Coast, Angry Otter, aka Dark Optimus, aka Goldblum. You got a lot of also known as,
Yeah.
if that's a thing right there. But brother, always love you. You come in with a level head, yo, but you still you speak your mind, yo. No matter if it's gonna piss off a certain group out there, you get your opinions out. I absolutely love that every time you come on the show. Let people know where they can find you, and if there's anything else you want to tell the people out there, man.
Yeah, you guys can find me on Twitter at Dark Optimus. You can also find me on Xbox and PlayStation at the same name. And yeah, man, I mean, I just try to, come in and be as level headed as I can be. I know sometimes I get a little crazy and I get a little out there, but it happens to all of us.
Shit happens, man.
Yeah, shit happens, and and but we're all gamers and we all enjoy what we love to do, and keep it gaming, people. Don't let everybody come at you. If you like a certain console or you prefer a certain brand or whatever, just run with it. Just speak your mind, and if people are gonna shoot you down and try to attack you for it, then fuck them.
Now, you don't mean literally fuck them, right?
No, right?
Oh,
Yeah,
okay. Because that has to be with consent and all that. Otherwise, you're getting into different charges there.
Right? No, yeah.
Yo, brother, one thing I do want to say, I want to let you know that game Maneater, it's a single player game, man. I don't know. You might want to throw $40 on it. It's a single player game.
I think
man.
I'll wait.
I'm about to
I'll wait
buy
until
that
it goes
shit,
to
dude.
Game Pass. I think I'll wait until it goes to the Game Pass fodder.
Which will
I
probably
don't
be
know.
next week. Yeah, to be honest with you. Man.
Watch. It'll be next week, and you'll be like, "Damn it, man! I spent $40 on this shit."
Yo, well, shout out to one of my YouTubing buddies because he hooked me up with a link. I'm gonna look at getting keys for upcoming games and stuff like that. Possibly, review games and stuff like that on this channel. If I get a key, I gotta review it. You know what I'm saying? So, shout out to the YouTube gaming community that helps out other YouTubers, man. That's one of the things I try to do. I know a lot of people on this panel try to do. Me and UK Mega, we've talked about that for I don't know how many years, man. And it's always good to see other people doing the same thing, man.
Yeah, I know. Even though you needed to be told that I needed to come onto your show.
Oh, dude.
Yeah, you did. You were not.
Yeah, you
were not.
It's so weird.
The first choice.
You were the first person I talked to.
You were like suggested.
Yeah, no, I had somebody else to beg you to come to have me come on.
Yeah, man, you had to be begged.
Wow, man, please have K Mega come on, man.
Please.
Yeah.
I know this guy, and you can have him come on. That's okay. I don't even know him. No, let me talk to him.
Well, K Mega, we
yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I like that name.
Shut up, Dark.
Shut
up, Dark.
Shut up.
Yo, well, Mega.
We already got another black dude named Nurik. We all Nurik. You know what I'm saying?
I'm gonna wait till they're done, guys.
We only need one black dude.
That's what I'm gonna do.
We don't need two.
Oh shit!
Yo,
Okay,
talk about taking a left turn right there, man. I swear.
Right, but hey! I thought the same thing when I read those tweets. I was like, what?
Yo, when you brought that to my attention, I'm like, what? But yo, K Mega, we've come to you anyway, man. When it comes down to it, you got GRG over there on Mixer. I see the numbers increasing every single week, yo. The fan base there, sharing the stickers, sparks, embers, all that good stuff. It's definitely a good time. So you definitely want to let people know about that, your YouTube channel, and where they can go to talk games with you, brother.
Yes, I will get out of YouTube hell probably like June 9th and 10th. So I will. But Mixer has been really good to me and to the crew for GRG, and man, and just me and Don and everybody else streaming on Mixer. I happy birthday, 3-year birthday for Mixer. I enjoy streaming actually more than I do like doing videos and stuff like that. But I enjoy the community, regardless of people who have a disdain for me or for people that actually enjoy what I have to say. It's all about talking about games, all the personal attacks and all that other stuff. I don't care. I'm blessed in my life, so I really don't care about all that. It don't bother me, but I definitely appreciate everybody that comes and check out the GRG podcast. For anybody to interact with me on Twitter at KMega4 and also on my YouTube channel KMega405. Thank you guys. I appreciate it so much, and you know what I'm saying. I'll be here next week, like as always, man. So see you
Nice,
then.
brother. Nice. And again, shout out to everybody that hung out with us. Yo, Doggy Dog, good to see you. Jesse, what is going on? Of course, everybody in the chat. It was absolutely fire tonight. Yo, thank you guys for sharing your opinions as well. And I'm gonna end the show the way I do every week. We will see you guys next Saturday for the next podcast. Have a great weekend, everybody.
Thank you, Lou, for the game, man. Appreciate it, brother.
Ooh,
French fried taters.
somebody clapping?
I don't know.
Yeah.